So I'm going to be honest with you right now. I just made a list right here of like 20 something ideas for videos, meaning that as this is all premeditated, and I thought of it all in the span of like less than 5 minutes. So that's pretty dope. Am I right, hombres? So we're gonna talk about the new topic today, and that is gonna be my history on motorcycles. I just chose a random one right now. I didn't even think about it. Before we get to that, look at my new shirt. Look at that. There are two types of countries: those that use the metric system and those that have landed on the moon. Yeah, that's right. Take that, libtards. You can't make me use freaking kilometers. That's retarded. I don't do that. God bless America. Am I right, hombres? So, let's talk. I said my history on motorcycles, right? Let's mark that off the list. So, what's my history on motorcycles? Well, I figured since I'm starting on this channel, it would make sense to talk about how am I qualified to tell you literally anything about motorcycles? And the answer is I'm absolutely not. But I'm going to try to convince you that I might be. So when I was a kid, I was from the age of about 6 years old. I had a little Honda 50, little bitty motorcycle, little Honda 50cc. That was a fun little bike. I think they ended up, like, the specific model was outlawed because there was like lead on the chains, and like kids were putting their mouth on the chains and they were getting lead poisoning. And so for some reason, I think I would be surprised if they don't still have Honda 50s. I don't know. I remember hearing something about that. Anyways, not important. Maybe that's a topic for another video. Probably not. Anyways, yeah, when I was a little kid, about 6 years old, my dad was stupid enough, was dumb enough to get me a little Honda 50. I rode that, hung out with my friends all the time. It was a blast. Got me hooked on motorcycles. I remember when I was a kid, and I saw when we went to the dealership, and my dad we were just looking around. I don't think we were planning on getting a bike, and I don't know. I was like I said, I was pretty young, and we saw the bike. I remember, getting so excited, but my dad wouldn't let me ride it because I had no experience at all. Not even sure if he'd seen me ride a bicycle before at that point. I did ride a bicycle. My parents were separated, so I lived at my mom's and I would ride bikes there, and so I'm not sure he'd even seen me ride a bike yet. But so he was a little untrustworthy, but he finally let me ride the motorcycle, and I remember I was so excited. It was pretty dope. It was a cool time. And I remember it was a little bitty Honda 50, and my big old dad's on this like a clown on a bicycle. The little bitty tricycles that they have, or not tricycle, maybe they have. Yeah, no, they have the little bicycles. I've seen that at a fair before. Anyways, so I remember being excited for that, riding it around. I'd always have my friends over out here on the ranch that I live on, and we just ride it. We just go around. And so then I moved on from that, obviously. I didn't ride a Honda 50 my whole life. I moved on, and I got actually have the name of the bike. I never remembered it. I just remembered it was a Kawasaki dirt bike. I think it was a KLX 110, LG for large, or something. It was the bigger version of the KLX 110, and size-wise. That was a fun little bike. I enjoyed that for a while. Like I said, most of the time I was just spending, riding bikes with friends, have them over all the time. We put a couple frozen DiGiorno's in the pizza in the oven, and we just get on the dirt bikes and start riding around doing stupid stuff. And a year or two ago, maybe 3 years, three or so years ago, I don't know. My dad, he owns a rent building, and one of the renters couldn't afford to make rent that month, and they said, well, hey, I have this old moped just sitting around, and could I give you that moped instead of paying rent this month? And my dad was like, yeah, sure, that'd be cool. And so they didn't pay rent, and we got a free moped. And that moped was so fun. It was a little Honda moped. No, was it Yamaha? I think it might have been Yamaha, but I'm also leaning towards Honda. I don't remember. I think it was Honda. Anyways, we had a little moped. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed riding that moped like crazy. So much fun. We'd be doing like donuts in the yard because there's street tires, and on wet, partially kind of moist grass, there's no traction at all, and it was so fun. Oh my gosh. And then earlier this year, I was getting a little antsy. I don't know. I was getting a little bit bothered because I wanted a car. I wanted a car pretty badly. I needed a vehicle to get to school. A couple times I'd gotten like basically stranded at school because I had no friends in town. Like, I'd call my friends and they say, "Hey, we're sorry, we're out of town right now, and we can't give you a ride." And I called my dad first, and he'd say, "Sorry, pal, I'm working out of town right now. I won't be home for like 3 hours or something," And so I'd just be stranded. And I was like, "Oh crap, how am I gonna get home?" So I was really like always asking my dad, "Hey, I need a vehicle. Hey, I need a car. I need a car. I need a car. I need a car." And he was like, maybe if you mowed the lawn a little bit more, you might get the car." And I knew he was just never gonna give me a car. And so I started to think. I asked my dad, "Hey, you have your old dirt bike. You haven't ridden it in years. Can I sell that and use the money towards getting a car?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, I haven't ridden that in like 3 years, and last time he rode it, he broke his collarbone, and so that wasn't a good time." And so he said I could sell it, and then I was gonna sell. What else was I gonna sell? I think I was just gonna sell the dirt bike originally, his dirt bike. He had like a 125, real nice Honda dirt bike, real tall one. Anyways, or 120. I think it was a 120. But it was a nice dirt bike. I was gonna sell that, and then I finally had it posted up on Craigslist, and I was getting so tired of waiting, and so I said, "You know what? I'm just gonna get a motorcycle because they're like half the price, aren't they?" And so I go in looking, and I was dead set originally on getting a Ninja 250 because I saw how cool they were. I thought they were neat. And it was a low displacement, and so since I didn't have experience riding on the road, I thought that makes sense. I'll get a lower displacement. And eventually, where I went with that is I sold my dad's dirt bike. Finally, I sold my dirt bike, my KLX 110. Oh, I sold the Honda 50 many years before. I think I don't remember what we got with the money for that. But anyways, so I sold my green Kawasaki. Sold my Kawasaki dirt bike. Sold my dad's dirt bike, and my dad sold the moped, which I was hoping we weren't going to sell. I told him, "Don't sell it. I love that. I would freaking die for that." But he ended up selling it anyways, and that was a bummer. That was actually a bummer. But when he told me that he sold it, I was at a friend's house, and he said, "Hey, I sold the moped and everything, and I was at a Kawasaki dealership." And he sold it to some like meth head looking guy at the dealership. For only $500. It wasn't worth it. If you ever have a Honda moped, just having fun on a ranch, it's so fun. I'm considering actually when I get a job, to buy another one because it's just so much fun. But no, he said, "Hey, and I got you a motorcycle," and I was like, "What?" And so I ended up getting a Versys X 300 motorcycle. So much fun. I have it right now. And I'm gonna be when the school year starts, my senior year, I'm gonna be riding that to school every day, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be an awesome time. I'm really grateful for that. And so that's my experience in riding motorcycles. Made this video a little bit too long, but hey, who cares? I don't. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I have a little bit of experience of riding motorcycles. I love them so much, and now that I've got a street bike and all the research I did when I was looking for a street bike, I'm glad I got the Versys X300 instead of like a Ninja 250 because A, I live out in the country, and the roads are not great out here, and there's a lot of gravel, and plus B, I sold all my dirt bikes, and I kind of miss being able to ride off-road. And if I got a street bike, yeah, it'd be fun, but I'd miss riding off-road, whereas an adventure touring bike is it's a dual sport, a little bit more oriented for riding on the road, but it's a dual sport. It'll still, drive off-road. And so it's like a street bike and a and a dirt bike, kind of morphed into one. You know, all an adventure touring bike is it's like a nicer version of a dual sport. It's a fancier looking, a little bit heavier bike. And I've loved it. I have so much fun with it, and I've had it for a couple months now. I put about, I think, 1,200 miles on my bike. I ride it everywhere. I have so much fun with it, and I've done a lot of research in the past year or so looking into it. And you may say that's not very much research, but like I said, I've also been riding my whole childhood. So I'll give you what information I can over the length of this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I want to say check out my other channel, Psycho Monkey 44. That's linked in the that's my main channel where I do comedy skits and videos and stuff. And I just made a video recently. It was kind of a parody of like Shaft, that whole thing. It's called Can You Dig It? It's pretty dope, pretty swagalicious. You know, I like to keep it humble though. It's pretty cool, you know. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. This video ran a little bit longer than I wanted to. I'm going to try to keep these short from now on. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see how this channel goes. This will be neat. So have a good one. Subscribe, like, please. I would appreciate it. Goodbye.